So you actually took your time in that case, you're saying, and that the follow-up case, I guess there was another case that came around in 2011, I want to say.
Yeah.
Was that a same
that was in 2000 and 2001.
Okay.
2001. I had another case in 2011 though. You know, that was just me. I ain't had to have no rats on me or none of that. This guy named Bum Bum that gave me my federal case, Fly J, them niggas that set me up on my federal case. And I got out in 2009, and I ended up catching another federal case. Me, my kid's mother, and the kid's grandma, they stood tall. Nobody fell. Everybody stood up like soldiers.
Yeah, and I was going to get to that because I think the case ended in what, 2014? Yeah, everybody was charged and everything, right?
Yeah, 2014. I ain't rat on no nigga. If I was a rat, then a lot of niggas would have been in jail. My connect back in 1999, he ain't never seen a day of jail. He be at my house right now. He's from Chicago. He a traveler. His name Tyke. You know, he been retired. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no try to, get a drop on him. He been retired. I'm just giving out my story. And he understand that. But he ain't in the game. He driving by. He done bought trucks and all kind of shit. He's still on the street now. I'm the only nigga could have put him away. And he still on business. Yes, sir. And he's still out. He ain't never seen a day in jail. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm an American gangster.
Now, in 2014, in that case, you pled guilty to one count of distributing drugs, right?
Yeah.
And you were facing federal time in that situation, right?
Yeah.
You ended up getting, I want to say, what, 15 years? 15 months?
10 months. 10 months. I was facing 8 years. I got 10 months because they trying to hit me with this chick name. Her name was Amanda. She was a white chick. She the one that set me up. I went to the hotel, sir, set me up. I was staying in Cherville, you know what I'm saying? Nice townhouse, I was stuck out like a sore thumb. So they got on top of me. They already knew who I was. They didn't want me in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? They didn't want me in Indiana, period, you know what I'm saying? So when I come home, she set me up. Then they tried to hit me with irrelevant conduct. That's what took it to 8 years. But see, what they didn't really realize, the time she said I sold her dope for 3 years, 18 months of that, I was in Westville State Prison. So when I hit that to my lawyer, I said, man, they can't never give me all this relevant conduct because here it is. She said, I sold her dope for these times. I was locked up 18 months right here in Westville. He said, can you prove it? I said, go look at the system. He pulls it up, came back the next day and said, you got it. I'm going to take this to the PSI. They got to take all of that. You going home. Next thing you know, he come back and said, man, they finna sentence you. I said, what are they going to do? He said, man, you going home. I said, thank you, Lord. They tried to put me with the again. I never gave the certificate. You know?
Now, was that your last major case or federal case that you did?
Yeah, that was my last case. After that, I had my child, my newborns that I got now that I'm taking care of, and I shut it down.
And when you went to did your Fed time, did you do it GP? Is that, let me know if I'm using the right terminology for general
population. Man, when I went to Fed time, I was on my American gangster shit. I came to Pekin, Illinois first. And they was like, oh man, here rap, woo, woo. I come downstairs on business. I tell them, come to the yard. I had a couple guys in there named Bone, Tiny Man from the Project, Hannibal, and I'm the big homie. I'm that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So when they like, man, I don't give a fuck, man, what dude on, we on. So I have them all meet to the yard. I said, who trying to see me? And there was another BD from Chicago named Slick. Was my man. He stood with me too. He said, man, that nigga 100, man. That nigga stood on them niggas in MCC Chicago. And if he going bloody. That nigga 100. So we go out there. I said, who trying to see it, nigga? Like, we get knifed up. This all true story. This in Pekin, Illinois. I'm not no skidder and I don't make nothing up. This is on everything I love. This on my gang sign. And I told them niggas I'm ready to die. So that was that. They say, man, that nigga crazy. So I go back to the yard. Shout out to Bone and Bucko for standing side by side with me, ready to crush it, slide to Slick, ready to, standing on business with me. So I go back to the unit, and there was a nigga named down there named Kiki Wash. He is from Gary. They say, man, dude, listen, man, they was going through some changes, what was their business or whatever, and people thought that he was calling me a snitch, and they said that's what happened, because we had got into it. But I pulled up on the yard on him, and I called him all kind of bitches, woo, woo, woo. This how I ended up leaving Pekin, and telling me, nigga, you ain't riding with the homies, nigga, woo, woo, woo. And they told him that nigga, a lot of people was out there, they like, man, dude, you got, that nigga just came, and he was a nigga that was pushing that knife hard, but he was my little homie. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one who was giving them big shit, you know what I'm saying, on the street, you know what I'm saying? But I just didn't approve a lot. was doing at that time. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Kiki because he's a stand-up guy. But at the same time, yeah, so I goes in my cell. I go to the law library, and I take a knife back to the goddamn unit that's supposed to kill me. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know the game. So one of the people in there was like, man, can you take this Bible back to the unit for me? So I'm like, yeah, I ain't got no problem, bro. I runs the Bible to the unit all the time. It's a chopper in the Bible, which is a hawk. This is when I first get to the field, so I knew how the games played. After that, I stay armed and dangerous. So when I get back, you know what I'm saying, I go lay down on my bunk. My man Kiki come in there and trying to hit me. But he can't hit me because I'm an American gangster. I'm a gangster. I still don't, you know what I'm saying? So they end up shipping me to Leavenworth U.S. Penitentiary. So when I get to U.S. Penitentiary, they're like, oh man, he can't walk the yard. I'm going to die on this yard. So I go out there. I was a nigga that was totally different. So Pooh Bear came. They said, Pooh Bear, no. I said, man, y'all better find a chief. Y'all better find somebody. Because I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So when I first go in the unit at Leavenworth United P, first thing I asked the nigga what for was a hawk. He was out of Detroit. He said, damn, man, you just got here. I said, I got some business I got to handle. And that was which was the snitch that I had to make sure I clear up as I was on my journey. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew I had 11, 10 more years to go. And I was going to do with hawking niggas. I wasn't finna lay down. I already knew that. That's how I was clearing it. Point blank. So he said, man, I ain't got no hawk. You got to get clear from the lords, man. You know what I'm saying? I said, well, man, I just started searching around for a hawk. But so happened, Pooh Bear, I said, when Pooh Bear, I was walking down to the hall, and Pooh Bear was like, man, you Stacy, man. I said, yeah. I said, man, you need to call. He said, you know what they said? I said, man, f them. They trying to see me. You know, I said, let's do it. And he said, no, I'm going to call Tiger, which is my main man I was telling you about. So he said, man, just go on to the unit, put your shit down, and then give me about an hour. I'm going to see what's going on. He called my man from Chicago. My man Chicago said, take care of it. That's like my son. Shout out to Tiger, Charles Scott from the West Side. Big traveler. Hung with the biggest travelers in the city of Chicago. They like a daddy. Like a daddy.
Okay, so just to clarify this for everybody, during your time on your last arrest, you were in federal custody, and you first started off at one prison, and your time there, you actually let people know that you weren't leaving the yard, and you immediately went to looking for a hawk, aka a shank, right? And yeah. you stood on business and told everybody, yo, they gonna have to, they're not gonna move you off the yard. So you get into it with your cellie, and then they ship you to Leavenworth?
No, I get into it with one of the homies from the crib. They shipped me to Leavenworth. How I got out of Leavenworth, I had a hawk in my washer powder box. I was on the yard. I was security for Chinaman, one of the biggest C's in Chicago from out south.